What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil Mcleod, and I'm a full-time eBay and PoshMark seller. And today I want to go over some quick tips on how to crush the competition and become a successful eBay and PoshMark reseller. So let's get into it. Now, when it comes to the reselling business, it could be very competitive, and I'm a naturally competitive person. So of course it took me a few months to kind of develop these tips and tricks in order to realize how I can beat the competition and essentially just make more money for myself and my family. So if you're not a very competitive person, it might not really apply to you and you might not really even want to do it. But for those of you that can relate, and maybe you have a background in sports or you're just a naturally competitive person, this will definitely kind of frame a different perspective for you on how to attack the reselling business and just life in general, because some of these tips are very transferable and you can definitely get ahead in business and in life by following some of these quick and simple tips. So let's go. Now, when it comes to going to these thrift stores and trying to source for different items to sell on eBay and PoshMark, what you want to do is get stuff for low and sell it high. So basically you want to go to thrift stores and yard sales, and there you can go and get some of the best items at the lowest price. But one of the things you want to do is, whether you're going to garage sales or you're going to thrift stores, one of the number one things that's helped me double up my business is getting to these thrift stores earlier and going a lot more consistently. So what you want to do is develop a schedule in terms of when you plan on going every day or every weekend or whenever you have time. Develop that schedule and kind of stick to that. And also you want to make sure that if you can go earlier in the morning, make sure you get there early as possible, because you're going to be able to see some of the newest stuff that's on the sales floor, and you're going to be able to get there before a lot of your competition does. And the thing with this reselling business, you will never be able to just see, oh, this person's a reseller, that person's a reseller. Sometimes if the person, they have a cart full of stuff, full of random stuff, that's obviously a reseller. But sometimes you might see somebody that's just randomly picking up some stuff. They might pick up one or two things and they might not even seem like a reseller, but trust me, that person is looking stuff up, they're Googling, and they may have been watching other YouTube videos just like this, trying to learn what they can about getting into the resale business. So every time you go to these thrift stores or yard sales or garage sales, trust me, there are other people just like you trying to find things that they can sell and make money with. So the best way to combat that is to get there early and before the competition gets there. The next thing you want to do in terms of kind of crushing your competition and just getting ahead period is just learning more brands, because there's so many clothing brands out there, there's so many shoe brands out there that a lot of people, they see certain stuff, they see it's a pair of Jordans or they see a basketball jersey, everybody's going to grab that because that's common knowledge and that's what people know will sell well on eBay. But what you want to do is go for those items that's not as known but still has a good resale value. So what I did was I went on YouTube and I scoured the internet, and I just would, just do research and type in what brands to look for. I would type in bolos, be on the lookout. And I would just follow trends myself, because of course I'm a fashion blogger as well. So I would kind of know the items and the brands that are in style and in fashion right now. So I would always have somewhat of an edge on my competition because I know what brands to look for. Meanwhile, everybody else is just looking for the typical brands like Patagonia and Lululemon. And by just doing your research and using YouTube, using Google, doing stuff like that, you'd be able to learn a lot more clothing brands. And every time you go to these thrift stores, your knowledge base would be so much broader than the competition that even on a slow day, you might still walk out with 2 to 3 items that you might not have walked out with if you didn't do research. Now, also when it comes to just learning more brands, I don't only sell men's and women's clothing. I sell electronics.
A few moments later.
I sold luggage. I sold TVs.
2 hours later.
I sell whatever that I can find that can flip for money. And that came from me literally just trying to be a jack of all trades, trying to know a little bit about everything. And by doing that, every time you go to the thrift store or every time you go to a garage sale, you will see something and you might see value in that. There's been times that I picked up souvenir pencils, and people may have just thought that was a throwaway, and I ended up selling each pencil for $20 a piece. So what you want to do is, of course, learn clothing brands and stuff like that, but also just diversify your knowledge a little bit and learn a little more about as many things as possible. Also, to go on along with that tip, what you want to do too is pay attention to a lot of toys, especially for the fourth quarter, because now a lot of people are starting to do a lot of early Christmas shopping and they're getting stuff for their kids or their nieces or their nephews. So what you want to do is pay attention to some toys, whether it's board games, whether it's brand new action figures in the box. Make sure you look out for those stuff too, because you might be able to, check those things out, see what it's selling for on eBay or on Amazon, and sell it for some good profit there too. Next, a huge tip is to build a relationship with the staff. Once you become more friendly with the staff, they'll be able to tell you what days are best to come in, where the good stuff is possibly hiding. They could even give you a discount sometimes, whether it's a student discount or a senior discount, just because they're friends with you and they might just want to look out. So always make sure that you're being friendly with the staff, build a relationship with them, and that way you can also beat the competition, because of course the name of the game is to buy low, sell high, and sell fast. But by getting those discounts or just getting a little extra help, you may be able to buy stuff for even lower than you already was and sell it even faster. So like I said, build a relationship with the staff and you'd be good money. Last but certainly not least, the number one tip that I have for you all that can apply through life period is just consistency is key. The number one thing that has helped me double, almost triple my business since in the past 18 months was just being consistent as possible. And yes, that means going to the thrift store maybe twice a day or hitting several thrift stores in one day. That's obvious. But when I say consistency is key, I mean not giving up when times are hard, constantly doing more research and learning more about different brands and different products, constantly going on YouTube and just sharpening your skills. Being consistent with things like this will definitely help you level up and crush the competition. Because when I first came out here, I was kind of nervous and I realized there was so many other resellers out here doing exactly what I'm trying to do. And it was definitely, it was an unsettling feeling, because here I am trying to put 110% into this, but then again I'm up against 50 to 60 people on a daily basis trying to find the same things that I want to sell. But after a while I realized, okay, this person only sells clothing, so if they're in the store, I'm going to hit electronics, I'm going to hit the shoes, I'm going to hit the kitchen section. And I might realize that this one person I see all the time, they sell electronics. The other person that's here that usually sells clothing isn't there. Let me run into the clothing section and grab what I can grab, and then I'll come back to the kitchen or the electronics or whatever other sections there is in the store. So, like I said, consistency is key, and that's probably going to be the number one thing that's going to help you crush the competition. Now, if I could do it, you could do it, because I'm no better than you, and trust me, when it comes to this, it's not easy, but all I did is put in the time and I put in the research. So, like I said, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, because I'm putting out as much content as possible. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to, shoot me a question, because I'm constantly, trying to make sure I reach out to everybody and answer everybody's questions or anything like that, because I want to build this into a real community where, aspiring entrepreneurs and new resellers can come and get information and, just get their questions answered. So, if you got any questions, shoot me a comment. And see you guys in the next one.